Okay, good Tvoch, and I get to know to everyone. Moshe Shabbos Sukkot. I don't know if I mean it's not that unusual, but um, somehow it struck me as special. I have no idea, what significance of it might be, but it struck me as special that all the young and Tevin, aside from Yom Kippur, all the Yom Kippur fell on Shabbos. Shoshana on Shabbos, Sukkot is on Shabbos. Second day Simchas Torah is on Shabbos. It's like Shabbos and Yom Tovim are like fused together. I have absolutely no idea what the significance of it might be, but it's sort of like it struck me as I think that we're all trying to. I assume that we're all trying to find significance during, first of all, every year, as we're waiting for Mashiach to come, especially this year with, the Corona going on. So we're all trying to find a morsel. Look, this is special. This probably is significant. This means that, whatever it is. So, and I don't want to say that it means anything, or if it means anything, I have absolutely no idea what it might mean. But nevertheless, just I find it an interesting fact, and somehow, everything comes in together. The year's Tafshin Pei Aleph is the letters of the word Tish'af, which means aspire, and also means breathe in. Tish'af, it's like telling somebody breathe in. Tish'af aviyah, breathe in the air, which is especially poignant in this point in time. So we went, playing around a little bit, a word game, as it were. All right, so let's share the screen and get into the SIchos Haran of this evening, and this is what we have here. We're going to do Sichos Lamed Gimel, Lamed Daled, and Lamed Hey, being that there is a certain thread, a common thread that goes through them. They're all basically speaking about the same thing. So we'll deal with that. In Sichos Lamed Gimel says, "Shuv Pam Achat Hayam Daber B'Emunah." One another time the Rebbe spoke of Emunah. By the Olam, by the people, Emunah is a small thing. I mean, it's like a duh, obvious. I mean, what do you mean? Emunah this is what it's about. But my Emunah is a great thing. Okay, so what kind of Emunah are you talking about? Deep, and he says, no. The main Emunah that Rabbeinu said is a huge thing by him. Don't try to verify things. Don't try to bring proofs. Show that science agrees with Torah. Nothing. Like the Pshitas Gamon, totally simply. The very same way that the women and the simple people, the simple Elocha people, the way that they believe, that is the kind of Mun Rabbeinu is saying is a huge thing behind. In Torah Medal, Rabbeinu says that Emunah Choshev Ketzdaka. Emunah is as important as tzedakah. As we say in Bereshit, Ve'emim B'Shem, and Avraham Avinu was today, Ushpizim, he believed in Hashem, Yachshav al tzedakah, he considered for him a tzedakah. So you think that Emunah and tzedakah is one thing. And then it says along the way, he says, it is through Emunah that the person is able to children. He says, Ki Emunah v'gimatria banim, sons. And then Rabbeinu says, at Sicha, that Rabbi Eilish, the Satmar Rebbe, says that is a Ruach HaKodesh that, like which he is not seen by any other tzaddik. He says, that there's a big heresy, a lack of emunah coming on the world. You have to understand when these words were said. This was Napoleonic era. Okay, this was before, around the beginning of the 1800s, the late 1700s, the beginning of the 1800s. Okay, this was at least 60 years before, 50, 60 years before the Industrial Revolution. It's you're talking about at the very edge, the very end of the previous era. I don't know what you call it. And he said that there's a great apicursus that is descending down on the world. He said it a few times. There's a great heresy that it is being drawn down on the world. He says, fortunate is he who will hold himself in the Emunah in these times. And then Rabbeinu says as follows, even though it doesn't help at all, the fact that he's saying is that, listen, it's going to be great apikosis in the world, and the person has to be, strengthen himself in the Emunah. Because even though he's saying there's still, the apikosis is growing higher and higher. Even though it doesn't help. He says, we see it happened already before. Gam Daniel, they said, before Mashiach will come, many will be sifted, maybe will be tested, maybe will be, they will all be tested in Emunah. And anybody who will be fortunate, to withstand the Nisayan, and will stay firm in his Emunah Ashraya. He's extremely fortunate. And he will gain all the goodness that will come down in the future quickly nowadays, that all the prophets prophesied about it. And all our Chachamim said before that it's going to come. Okay. If that's the case, that Daniel said that, and all the Chachamim said that, and the Nevi'im said that, and now Rabbeinu saying that, then it would be befitting that every single person, Yaskil, that he will be smart. Yachas al atzmei, and he will have rachmanos in himself. Lisher kayam chazak be'emunosei, to remain strong and steadfast in his emunah. V'lo yalod shum yisrael mitzirif klal, and he will not have any kind of test. It won't be there'll be any test of him. Why? Because it was already predicted before, they already announced it before that this is what's going to happen. So since people already said before, listen, this is what's going to happen, really the reality should be, and everybody says, okay, so I know that it's not like it's my own heart and my own mind taking me wherever it's taking me. But this is the name of the game, but it's still. Ube'emek afal pichen, even though it was already announced before, it will be a great test. And many will fall off the derech. Many will go OTD. Daniel, it says, the wicked will go wicked. Rabbeinu says, however, even though, that for so many people, the prediction is not going to make a dent. I'm still letting this know ahead of time. For those few Elocha people, that will strengthen themselves in their emunah. For sure, they will have a lot of battles within their own minds. As for them, I'm saying that Leman Yelem Lemeshin Nefesh, so that they will have a relief. They'll have a great chizuk and a great strengthening. That what? When they will see that it was already spoken about before. So for those people, I'm saying this. I'm sorry, I'm not sure. Did you speak to him? Who is this? Him? I'm not sure who it is you're speaking about. I just got a chat from Rabbi Statman. Anyhow, so let me just somehow. Well, we are now in Sukkot. Sukkot is the holiday of Emunah. This is what it's all about. This is the shadow of the Sukkah, is the shadow of Emunah. Sitting in the Sukkah itself is auspicious to Emunah. One of the things that are so amazing about Emunah is that it is at once the strongest thing in the world and the most fragile thing in the world. It can so easily be soiled. It can be twisted. It can be painted. Because the Emunah stems from Koyach HaMadam. That's the ability to figure things out, to deduce one thing from another. Basically, emunah means that you accept things without any questions. It is a very common mistake that the so-called non-believers make, that they think that they don't believe. Thing is, they believe. But what they believe is they believe that not. There's no way not to believe. In fact, Rabbeinu says that it's astonishing the number of things you have to believe in, the number of ridiculous intellectual frogs you have to eat, you have to swallow, in order not to believe in Hashem. When you take a look at whatever it is that they believe, all the explanations that they give, how to explain the Metzius, reality, without HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The problem, the biggest problem with science is that at the very, very beginning, when the father of science is Aristotle, the whole idea of science is, just give me one sec. Is trying to explain the world without HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as it were. In other words, the minute that the Kadosh Baruch Hu is in the picture, what's there to explain? Kadosh Baruch Hu did what he did, and that's it. He did what he did, and he told you how to do things. He told you what you need to do. And from that moment on, you don't need to fight it. You don't need to. There's nothing to fight. What's the problem? Everything is cool. Everything is okay. The basis of science to begin with is, listen, if you're just saying that because God created everything, okay, so science goes out the window. What do you need science for? So the very beginning was, something, let's put a Kadosh Baruch Hu out of the picture, and now let's explain things without him. Okay, so some people say, listen, it's useful, so whatever it is you can do, they're believers, they go into it because they need to use it. But the truth of the matter is that when the emunah is clean, when the emunah is simple, when the emunah is unadulterated, you don't need anything. You don't need doctors, you don't need armies, you don't need anything. So what do you mean? Okay, you're already on the step when the emunah was adulterated, so now you need an army. We're already in the step where that emunah was adulterated, so now we need doctors. But when emunah is clean, when emunah is really as simple as it needs to be, you don't need anything. And you see, what happens is that emunah does not disappear the minute the doctors come to the picture. Otherwise, it can't. Then people place all their emunah in the doctor, as if he is the one who's, the doctor can hurt. The only one that can heal is the Kodesh Baruch Hu. The doctor is somebody along the way. Rabbeinu says, the Sikha that Rabbeinu says, Malach HaMavet has a lot of work to do. He can't cope with all the people who need to die. So he has helpers, doctors, so that so they'll help him. But the main thing is that there is no life without emunah. But the more chakiras you bring in, the more investigations you bring in, the more confused and convoluted your emunah gets. Now, it is very important for us to understand that the very same way that there is an entire influx of a tsunami of heresy, of secularism that came down to the world, from Rabbeinu time as it came on with the Enlightenment, with the Industrial Revolution, and down to the point that basically, except for Iran or Afghanistan, basically, and may they rot in hell, basically, all the Malchus is Minos, all the Malchus is the all heretical Malchus. But the point that we're saying is that let's take it to a different place, somewhere deeper, and not necessarily on the overall picture of the moon of people believing, people not believing, and whatnot. We'll take it to the point that we were talking about on Monday in SIchos, when we learned that when you are going to the next phase, when you're ready to advance, when you're ready to get ahead and start a new phase in your life, you have to leave the safety of the phase you were in behind. If you remember, we mentioned that the old king died, and therefore the name of the kingdom was switched. It was the kingdom with the stupid kingdom with the wise king, and it was switched to the wise kingdom with the foolish king. And now his role is to reverse it again, to bring it to what it was before. And I told you about Torah Chafei, in which Rabbeinu says that whenever you go to the next step, you are bringing the best, the cream of the crops of the Kedusha that you have achieved in your previous Madrega, which was the Kedusha of your davening and of your learning. And now this is the Kedusha of your eating, your drinking, and your business dealings. The Kedusha of your learning and your davening is what used to be the Kedusha of the business dealings of the person used to be on that Madrega before. In other words, your spitz, your peak, your mind, the best that your mind can do at this point, it's better than you were before, obviously, is what used to be, the lower madrega of the guy used to be there before. He used to do business with the kind of kedusha that you're davening now, that you're learning now. And he says, but you're in a new level. You have to elevate the whole thing up. As the Rebbeinu says, when you come to this new place, the klipos come up. And you have to sanctify that place. We said, if you remember, we said that if we give it numbers, that your old levels were 5 and 10, your business was at 5, and your learning and davening was at 10. The one above you, this new madriga that you're coming to, is 15 and 20. When you come into this new madriga, when you ascend to in a new beginning, you are like in between. Your business of Divrei Chol is now what used to be your davening. In other words, it's a 10. Your davening and learning is a 15, which used to be the one who used to be there. That was his Divrei Chol's Kedusha. And it's a madrega that needs 15, 20. You don't have the 20. You have to work on it, and you have to elevate both the 10 to a 15 and the 15 to 20. Now, 15, 20, you finish the madrega and you're ready to go on. But while you are getting into a new madrega, you don't have the kalim to process the kedusha that you're in. And the klipos come in. The klipos come in. And the way that the klipos come in, they come up with bilbul, and they're coming up with confusions. They're coming up with all kinds of breakup. Maybe it's not so, and maybe the whole thing is wrong, maybe this one is wrong. It's also very, very common that all kind of fantasies, immoral fantasies will go, and a person becomes extra sensitive, to the slightest excitement of the wrong kind. And not only that, but it goes with you. I mean, you can't check it out of your mind. And it can go into your dreams. And it's like, and you don't know what to do. I mean, you contemplate this well, and you talk to them, it's like, I have no idea what to do. What happened to me? And this is what Rabbeinu says. You need to lean on Emunah. You need to lean on simple Emunah, the way, the simple people, that the sophisticates, look like, that's nothing. That's like primitive. That's the thing that you need to hold on to. On this you can lean. Because the trick, when a person has these confusions, when he feels that he is being strongly attracted to things or people that he should not be attracted to, what really he should do is he should lean on his simple emunah and say no. No. This is not for me. But the confusions, which does that, because it's the Rebbe said that is coming down on the world, it comes in. It insinuates itself into, okay, let it do whatever it does. I'm not interested. I'm not in the game. Whatever will happen, then finished. Gone. We also said on Thursday that in order to move ahead, you need to let go of your precious possessions from before. what precious possession we're talking about. We're talking about our character defects, our screw up in this, that we felt safe in. People when they finally do some kind of a moral inventory of themselves, they can get very frustrated. What am I going to do with my miserliness, or my anger, or my tendency to to be repelled, or to be repulsive, or to be rejected, or to reject, or whatever it is that we. The one thing that if you want to work with yourself, is you need to understand that all these things, all these character defects serve you. They serve you. They allow you to abscond responsibility. They allow you to throw your weight around. They allow you to, not care about anybody else except yourself. Whatever each one, whatever it is that it does, to the point that when couples meet and they live together, and situations are sometimes, listen, it's hard in any given moment when two people get together and they become one, to get used to one another. It's very much, it's emotional to always give. It's like two people, trying to get dressed at the same time in a locker, in a high school locker. It's a hard place to move, you're trying to put the sweater and your elbow knocks the other person in the chin until you learn the dance of how to do it in such a way that you can both get dressed without knocking each other silly. But the point is that we all have these subconscious expectations. We feel comfortable sometimes of being treated well. Sometimes some of us are comfortable with being put down. Some of us come to a relationship with the need to be angry. And the funny thing is, well, it's not funny, but when you meet your Bashir, the one who needs to be the others to be angry at, because that's what he knows, because that's the defect that serves him. He's attracted to somebody who will be angry at him or at her. And couples that argue with one another are actually giving each other exactly what the other one is looking for. What? What the heck are you talking about? You nuts. What do you mean? I don't want her to scream at me, or I don't want him to scream at me. No, 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 no. When you're in your right mind, cognitively, you don't want anybody screaming at you. But it feels right. It feels like home. You know what I'm saying? And the thing that keeps us chained to these kind of old stories is Amuna. Is the Amuna that I believe that, as I say, it's not that I don't deserve, because nobody deserves, but I believe that I deserve and know. That is a very poisonous amuna. Okay, fine. So what am I? What am I? What am I? What am I going to? What shall I change it with? On Thursday we called it. What new headline would I like to put on my goal in life? A new goal in life. For some is, I want to love. All my life, I did not love, and I didn't feel comfortable with people loving me because the people that I loved naturally as a kid all betrayed me. So I don't believe, but I decided to write off love as a bad business and forget about it. It's a bad investment. It don't work. So now you want to decide, something? I want to love. I want to live with an open heart. Beautiful. Ah, man, unbelievable. It works for exactly a day. Next day you feel like, well, man, I love humanity. I remember years ago I saw a cartoon, a Peanuts cartoon, that said one of the characters, the kids, he says he wants to be a doctor. So his sister said, ha, you can't be a doctor. Because to be a doctor, you have to love humanity. So he says, I love humanity. It's people I can't stand. So the first day after you decide that you want your new slogan to be all about being open-hearted and loving and everything, the day after, or the evening of the next day, or you say, okay, you love humanity, but still can stand people. And you have no idea where to go, how to do it. How do you let go of your previous amuna? It's very hard. You spent your entire life believing in it, believing it'll keep you safe, believing that you'll be popular, you'll be accepted, you'll be able to navigate life, believing that you are this or you very this or that. Each one according to the self-image that he has developed as a kid. You're at a certain point in time, while you're a kid, you laugh when you're happy and you cry when you're sad and you hug when you love and whatever it is. At a certain point in time, usually, in the ages of, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, boom, you meet the world. And it's in a not nice way. And you realize the world ain't the friendly place that it was made out to be. So you make up some kind of a self-image, some kind of an avatar. I am the intellectual, I'm the artiste, and I'm the clown. And each one, whatever it is, and it becomes, what you're working from. It's very hard. It's an emuna that you need to let go. Okay, so now we have two problems. A, how do we get rid of the previous emuna? And B, how do we step into the next emuna that we would like that to be the headline of our lives? It can be confidence, it can be love, it can be giving, it can be taking, it can be whatever it is. The answer is the same. The answer is emuna. You come to Kodesh Baruch Hu, and you say, B'no Olam, I have absolutely no idea what to do. I don't. Baruch Hashem, I'm close to Rabbeinu. Baruch Hashem, so I have the strength, the koyach of the tzaddik, to change things when I speak to you. I know that you love me. I know that you listen to me. And I'm having a problem. The problem is that I have this deluge of doubts, of self-doubts, of to the point I can't even open up my mouth when I want to talk to Baruch Baruch. Nevertheless, help me out with that. The great secret of those who daven need to know is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu accepts fragments of speech. In other words, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't need a soliloquy necessarily. Says to be or not to be. That is there's no need for monologues. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives you words and you can really pour your heart for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, fantastic. Usually you have to go through a period where, first of all, you thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for everything that's going on, and then you have to spend a certain time just being quiet, being silent and waiting for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to give you words. And then you're throwing a word here, and you're throwing a word there. And it's very likely that you will spend at least some of the time, sometimes most of the time, at times all the time, of your hisbededus, your speaking to, or your conversation with the Kodesh Baruch Hu, at fragments. You say a word here, Rebbeinu Shalom, help me with that. And then for another, 5-10 minutes, he might wonders, whatever it is, and he comes back, whatever it is. And then he says, I need money, I need panos, I really need it, I really need it. Well, that's usually the part where you wake up. I really need it, I really need it. Okay, and then you dream out again, and you sort of float off and float in. Out and in, and out and in. Especially when you speak about, I want to stop believing my old belief, and I want to stop believing a new belief. I want to enter a new phase. I want to change. I want to be a new person. The minute you say it, takes about 30 seconds to say it. And when you're done, you feel like a dunce because you have nothing to say about it. Don't think it's okay, you can say it again. And then you can say it again. Then you can say it again. By the way, tonight's shir is dedicated to the refuah of Rabbeinu Shmayahu Yosef Chaim ben Pesha Miriam. Chaim Kanievsky should be healthy. And for President Trump, that he should also be healthy. Needless to say, our friend Shlomo Moshe ben Perel, and for all of us, Yeshua Shalom b'chol ha'inyanim. Ultimately, what all this boils down to is I believe. I believe. I'm the hands of the Kodesh Baruch Hu. And whenever it is I'm trying to check my belief, I'm trying to check my faith. I believe, friends, with Kodesh Baruch Hu. But when a client or potential client is here, that I'm really extra nice. I'm laughing and joking with that. Not really, really funny. and I'm trying to find something really, really smart to say, and I'll manipulate him. I'll give him some compliments, whatever it is. What happened to you, Emunah? Everything is about as well. Yeah, but you got to make a start to stadlos, right? It's okay. You're human. It's normal. Just be aware of it. Come to Kodesh Baruch Hu. Lay it down. That calls doing the work of life. This is Avodas Hashem. What I'm trying to get is that it's okay to feel frustrated with the fact that things are not going as fast as you want, or you feel it's not going in the direction that you want, or whatever it is. Just believe in a simple emunah. Baruch Hu's here. It's okay. It's okay. You daven, you ask, and you wait. Because ultimately, emunah is about waiting. Erech Hapayim is the meter of emunah. A person that wants everything right here, right now. I want it all. I want it now. It's called a Abdachik Hashem. As we learned last week, there's a show the factory. We learned, the Kutim Haran. You push the hour pushes you back. Anybody who hits the rock, guess who hurts? It's okay. You ask for what you need, no matter how confused you may be, no matter how stumped you may be, and wait. Yeshua will come. Another little tip, which is important for people who work on bitachon. When you throw your bitachon, your lot with the Kodesh Baruch Hu, things will usually look worse before you get to Yeshua. That's the Messiah. During the low, this is the period you're supposed to hold yourself in the morning. The up will come. The Yeshua will come. The Nassam, Fua, Shlom Bayis, marriage of children, everything will come. If you're going to be koichot to yodi, if you're saying, okay, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do this, I'm going to move, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, okay. Either Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to give you, it's not going to give you. If you're really, really forceful, because and you're really, resolute and focused, tunnel vision on whatever it is, you'll get what you want. But that doesn't mean it's good for you. Those people ultimately get, pay very dearly for what they pressed for. But when you go with the way of Emunah, with the way of Bitachon, all you need to do is just make a little shtadlos. Well, it's how it makes sense. Spoke to this one, spoke to that one, whatever it is. Kadosh Baruch Hu will take care of it. What will follow? Nothing. Nobody's calling. Nobody's doing. It seems to get worse. Because that's the nisayon. The nisayon is when you go with the munah, it has to come with the nisayon. Where you are strengthening yourself with the munah. Just wait. Be patient. Be patient. And munah is being patient. V'hu yaseh. Go al Hashem darkecha. Roll your ways onto Hashem. Uvtach olav, and trust Him. V'hu yaseh, and He will do. He will accomplish. this verse is not easily understood. It says, roll your ways unto Hashem and trust him, and he will do. What is the word trust him doing in the middle? You should say, roll your ways unto Hashem, and he will do. What do you need to put in, plug in this component of tachalav and trust him? The reason is what I told you before. Roll your ways onto Hashem. You do some kind of ishtadlus because you need to do something. But you rigol al Hashem darkecha. You will be rolling away on Hashem. Then will come the law. Uvtachalav. Here you have to strengthen it just with bitachon. Patience, simple emuna. I don't know, I don't understand, can explain it one way or another. I'll wait. Then will be who yasa. Hashem will accomplish it for you. And not only this, not only will you get what you're looking for, you'll get olam haba for it as well. Hashem should help us with that. Hashem will have a gittin moed and a freilich sukkos, and Imetz Hashem will meet again on Monday in Sipurim Isis. And until then,